Okay, let's wait for a while. All right. Okay. Hi, parents. Thanks so much for being here. And I know that by right we are supposed to start at 7:30. Thank you for your patience. Okay. Today we have a very special guest, and of course somebody who I look up to as well, and I also can learn science from, and also because I'm trying very hard to teach my daughter science. Yeah. Hello, Lisu.
Hello, everybody.
Okay, let me just do a brief intro. Then you can share with us your backstory and how you end up doing what you really love today. Because I heard from Sophie, you are really a like different kind of coaches. Yeah, because
Mm,
you inspire and also teach at the same time.
mm,
Okay, so for Li Su, she is the science strategist from ISun Education, and today I think something that is very popular among primary school parents, which is how do you secure full marks in section B science? There's something I want to hear as well. So teach me, how can I secure full marks?
mm. Okay. Yes, hello, parents. Yes, a brief introduction about myself. I'm actually from ISun Education, and I've been teaching students since 2012.
Wow.
Yeah, personally touched thousands of lives. So Sophie's child was one of those that I touched personally.
Mm.
Yes. So today I will be sharing on section B answering skills. And if you have any question along the way, feel free to ask, okay? And feel free to participate along the way.
Yes. So if parents wants to ask questions, I will be checking on the Facebook comments in the Facebook page. So parents, if you have any question, do feel free to ask, because I think this is one of the very rare opportunities that you can catch hold of a science expert like Li Su. Yeah, so got question I will just post to you in the comments in Zoom. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, because over here I only see the Zoom platform.
Yeah, I'll help you with
Yeah.
that. Yes.
Okay. So let me just share some slides with you guys first.
All right. Okay.
Okay, so this is just a brief introduction of what I've done in the past, and the students, the community that is in ISun Education itself. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just a pure tuition center, it's where we work with the students, particularly on the other side. Other than skill set, we work on their mindset as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, but today my main focus, of course, is on the skill set side. So what kind of skill set can I add value to the PSLE students over here? Okay, so if you are taking PSLE, of course, the highest possible score that we are going to aim for will be A star, right? Okay, so you first need to know how to break down the targets to score A star. So booklet A, as much as possible, we are got to aim for full marks, which is 56, of course.
Mm.
And with that, booklet B, you need a minimum of 35 upon 44 to score your A star, which is 91.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so then some students are not very careful in their booklet A. That means they make careless mistake, right? Ah, yeah, careless. Then each careless mistake, they will lose 2 marks.
Mm.
Then booklet B, they will need another 2 marks. Then careless again. Ah, yeah. Then now they need 39. So
Would there be
as
instances that they lose only 1 mark due to careless mistake?
you mean for booklet A?
Yeah, booklet A, but maybe B. Is there a possibility to lose just 1 mark?
Oh, booklet B, a lot of times they are unable to get a full 2 marks or full 1 mark. They might end up getting half mark everywhere, they lose a lot of half mark, 1 mark because of very small errors such as forget to compare
Mm.
fully.
Mm.
Like A is bigger, then they forget to mention than something, then they will lose marks.
Mm.
Or if let's say there are 3 items, they are supposed to use words like best conductor. Instead of using best, they use better conductor. Then they will get 0 right away.
Oh dear, they're so strict.
Yeah, so that's something that's very sad, as in, because technically they actually really know all the concept and content already, but they need to use the correct word to answer the question. Yeah. So with that, with the target breakdown, I just want to let students know that, for MCQ, they got to aim for full marks. And for booklet B, it's highly achievable with at least a 35. Okay, that's called at least a 35. Because some students just tell me A-star is not possible. But if you really go and break it down, it's actually really highly possible still. Okay, so that's what we are going for. So with that, right, booklet B is the main challenge because a lot of kids do see that, like what I mentioned to you, they know the concept, but they just don't know how to put it together to answer to the question. So today, I'm going to rectify that part with all of them. Okay, in science, we use this thought process in ISun Education, which is called Uncle is Super Crazy, UISC.
Yay! I'm crazy. I'm an uncle. Yes.
Are you an uncle? No, like you're still young. Okay. Okay, so UISC. Okay, so what do they have to do? They have to first underline important words in question, then identify the topic. So example, if they underline increase in temperature, then the topic will be on heat, right? Okay, the topic will be heat. Then they will select key phrase. Increase in temperature means something must have gained. Sorry, I'm writing with my mouse. Huh? So something must have gained heat. Okay, so after selecting, right, they still won't get any marks. The last part is to construct the answer. So the student must be able to write something gain heat from something. Yeah, they can't even say like A gain heat, full stop. Then they won't get any marks. They must say A gain heat from B, depending on the question. So this is a general flow of what we are going to do. Okay, and this is an example of what they need to do after looking through many PSLE questions in the past year paper, right? The information is so much. So what do they have to do? They have to first pick out that there are only certain number of questions that they will observe and see. So for example, today, right, in water cycle, there's only 8 types of question. So you put all the necessary information, right, into the piece of paper, then you'll be able to zoom in and focus on these 8 types of questions to prepare for exam, rather than just prepare from what guidebooks, assessment books, textbook, everything comes together where the student will have too much information, and with the limited time, right, they really don't have time to go through so many materials. So just zoom in based on the exam paper question, right? Write down on the piece of paper, okay, this is a sample. In water cycle, there are 8 types of questions. So they can do that for every single topic. Okay, so with that, this is with background. Okay, so this cheat sheet, right, is for how to secure full marks in section B with the 4 simple steps. And then with the example, for example, step 1, underline important words in question. Li Su opened a freezer door and observed that clouds escaped from the freezer. So explain how the clouds were formed. So first thing first, they have to underline the keyword clouds, right? Then they identify the topic. So with the word cloud, they will think of water cycle. So after thinking of water cycle, we will select key phrases. And based on a 2-mark question, right, they must remember to give 4 key phrases. This is a general rule, okay? 2 marks means we must give 4 phrases. So these are the thought process. What are clouds made of? What clouds are made of? Tiny water droplets, right? Then what is the process to form water droplets? Which is condensation. So it's condensation, again here, or loose heat process. So loose heat process. Yes, and on what kind of surface does condensation happen? On cooler surface. So what will condense to form water droplets? That will be water vapor. So after selecting these 4 words in the pink boxes, right, now they can construct into a full answer.
Okay, can I check with you? When you talk about key phrases, because I think as a parent who is not trained in the science methodology and answering skills, so what do you mean by by phrases? Because I think there's also this misconception that as long as you write something, you may or may not get the points, but kids are encouraged by their children, by their parents, write something if you are stuck.
Okay, so the so-called write something, what is it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so if you notice the question, because now I don't have any kids inside this session with me, right? But I've done this many times with many different kids, right? If I ask them this set of questions, right, they are able to give me the answer on the right side. So they actually have the knowledge to the key phrases to the right side. In fact, ask any one of them, right? Okay, or any one of you, okay, seeing this live video here, okay, any P6 student, have you seen these words before?
I believe so.
Yeah, I think their answer will be yes one. Confirm is a yes. But if you ask them to answer this question themselves, right, without this thought process, right, they might only write maybe half of the question. About 80% of students will do that. The other 20%, maybe they are well trained in the keywords answering it. So they know exactly what keywords to use.
Okay.
Yeah, but these are the guiding thought process to help them to get the keywords. Yeah, and this is not something that they will find in textbook.
Yes, I second that. Yeah, because I think a lot of times when we look at the textbook, it kind of like doesn't provide the 100% help for us.
So sometimes the kids study in the wrong way, right? They will, when given a question that they don't know how to do, then they open up their textbook to look for answers, right? That actually doesn't help them much. Yeah, even guidebooks also, they open up, but they don't know where to pick up the correct phrases as well. So our cheat sheet actually serve to help them to do that. Or if they are able to put into the cheat sheet, right, themselves, then it can help them in terms of answering. Okay, so this is a guide. Okay, feel free to like snap a photo, snap a screenshot, take it down so that you can use it for guiding you in other topics. So actually the myth is this: you think you don't know the keywords, but the truth is actually you know but don't know when to apply only. So this is the truth to a lot of students. So just now John asked me the question, right? They know the keyword or don't know the keyword. Actually they know. They just really don't know how to apply. Yeah, so today I'm going to show like some of the real exam questions to the students, and feel free to participate on the other side on Facebook, even though I cannot see. Yeah. Oops. Okay.
Yeah, I think the share screen went off.
Right? Okay. So
okay, while Lisu is trying to get it back up, parents, if you have any question, feel free to ask in the Facebook page comment, so I can ask Lisu on your behalf. Okay.
Are you able to see my share screen now?
Yes, I can see 2 circles.
Okay, this paper is Methodist Girls School, MGS 2019 paper. Okay, so I'm going to look at some of the trickier questions together with all of you and see how we go about solving it. Okay, so first question is very easy. So we shall just skip that because this is just on characteristic of living things. Okay, everyone knows this. Okay, I mean when they're in primary 3. So the question that I see a lot of mistake is this relationship question. Based on the information above, how does surrounding temperature affect the number of active animal X? So when we see this kind of question where they ask for 2 variables, most likely they are actually testing us on relationship, the relationship between the two mentioned variables. First thing first, we have to find the change variable. In this case, the change variable is temperature. What they are measuring is the number of active animal eggs. Okay, so students, what do you see for the temperature? The temperature is, there's only 3 words.
Or 5?
3 words to describe that. Increase, decrease, or remain the same.
Oh, okay. Maybe I too much. And I thought you were testing me on like +5, +5, +5. Maths,
Oh, no, this one is science already. So you need to use the 3 words: increase, decrease, or remain the same.
Oh, okay.
So what do you think? Temperature
Increase. Yeah.
increase, right? So this one they can tell. Okay, temperature increase. Then what happens to the number of active animal eggs? It is increasing. Okay, so at this point in time, right, a lot of the students will write in this way: as the surrounding temperature increase, the number of active animal eggs increase.
Oh, that for 1 mark. Ayo.
No, in this case is is wrong because right, they are not careful, never see this part. Can you see that this part is actually decreasing now? So there's 2 parts to this relationship question. 2 parts. So as the temperature increase from 15 to 30, the number of active animal eggs increases. But as the temperature increase from 30 to 35, the number of active animal eggs decreases. Then they will get their full 1 mark.
Oh, so it's half mark from 3 to 28, then another half mark for 28 to 24.
Oh, it's a half mark if they only mention increase. Yeah, the other half mark is if they never mention the decrease. However, it also depends because some schools has a change to the 1 mark marking system, right? They may or may not give the half mark, so totally 0 mark.
Sorry, what do you mean by change to 1 mark marking system?
Okay, so there are some schools that do not go by the half mark system. So just now when I mentioned, okay, so half the mark gone if you never mention the other part of the relationship, right? Okay, they might get half mark, but there are also schools that totally just treat it as 0 mark because there's no half mark awarding system. So it's either 1 or 0. It's either 1 or 2. Yeah.
So even if they technically if they deserve the half mark, but because it's not
the marking system.
Yeah, and you'll get 0 mark.
Yeah, correct.
Wow.
Yeah. So be careful, beware. Okay, don't lose out any mark at all. Don't let it even happen. So in this kind of relationship question, right, although it seems very simple, okay, but students, I will really advise you to really take out your highlighter or use your pen to really underline the important keywords, apply the strategy. Like whatever they have written here, right, is exactly what an A-star student will do. They will really just label increase, decrease in terms of the trend that they see. Then start to answer the question.
Yeah, and what I like about your explanation is like for myself, when I see all this, to me it's very new. Yeah, so you make it look so simple. When I first look at the question, it's like, wow, where should I start? But as you're explaining, I think you're a different kind of coach who makes it so simple. And I realize that you are also very systematic in breaking down the steps for a layman to understand.
So you could understand better?
Yes, so do I have a hope of getting A star?
And there is. Let's apply. let's apply. Maybe you can become a
A
science
star
coach.
kid or A
Science
star
coach also.
Don't want, enough already. Math is enough.
Okay, so now we are going to look at another question here where students cannot really figure out how to answer. Okay, so what's the advantage of planting the young far apart? I think this one is standard answer. Standard answer kind of question. Even though it's standard answer kind of question, right? But there are also a lot of students who cannot remember their content. So we need to find special ways, right, to let them remember the content. So why is the young far apart from each other? They want to reduce overcrowding and competition for something. 4 things. 1, 2, 3, 4. So again, right, if they only write 2 items or out of the 4 items, right, they will get marks deducted or they cannot get the full 1 mark. So over on the other side, do y'all know what are the 4 things that they will compete for?
Wow.
Got any?
Okay, parents, if you're still around, please try to share. Yeah, because I think the more you participate, the more you learn as well. And if your child is next to you, ask them, test them, stress. Yeah. Okay. I think while we're waiting for the parents to answer,
It's
yeah.
okay. I will review the answer, right?
Yes. How do we know that it's a standard kind of question, or it is actually the answer is actually standard?
The answer is actually standard.
Mm.
How do you actually know? Okay, so if you look at this question, right, do you see that there's actually no table, no graph, no diagram?
Oh yeah, it's very clean.
Yeah, they only straight away just ask you what is the advantage of planting young plants far apart. So simply said, right, you don't need to refer to any, and you don't need to analyze any data. So it's a direct question based on what they already know. Yeah. However, if they see table, if they see diagrams, if they see graphs, then they need to make use of the information to answer the question. Okay, so this kind just test knowledge. So to review the answer for this.
Yeah, no answer from parents. Yeah,
No answer from parents, huh? Okay.
From you and
New
get the answer.
Maybe they went to ask their child. Okay, nutrients, water, sunlight, and
Oh my god, I got it wrong.
space. Yeah.
Space.
Yes. So you can make use of the first letter to come up with something to remember. So our kids came out with something very special.
NWSS.
NWSS. So you know the water droplet, the Singapore mascot water droplet. You know the name of the water droplets?
Oh, sorry, no idea. I thought it's just a water droplet.
Okay, that water droplet's name, right, is called Wally.
Really?
Yeah. So his name is Wally. So Wally, right? Okay, so what is Wally doing? Let me draw something for you. Guess what is Wally doing?
Oh, I cannot see the yellow thing.
It's purposely drawn in yellow.
Okay.
Because naughty Wally is peeing. Another word for peeing is shishi. So naughty Wally shishi. Yeah, that's how our students remember. Yeah. they came out, they actually came out with this together. I gave them a very logical explanation, right? And then they cannot remember after some time. So they came out with this on their own. Yeah, so it's good to involve the child to come up with something creative, and then so they can remember it. Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
Okay, Lisu, there are two parents who actually asked some questions about what you have shared. One of them is Daddy Vincent. He's asking about the half marks. So is this applicable to the PSLE as well? I mean, will the child be awarded half mark? Let's say if they deserve half a mark.
So I last checked with the PSLE markers, right?
Mm-hmm.
They mentioned that actually there's no more half mark marking system. That's why some of the school actually evolved to not give any half mark. So it's either 0, 1, or 2.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And the other mommy, Ruth, and she's asking, are the kids taught on the different types of questions?
In school?
Yep, in schools.
In schools, generally they okay. So this is the feedbacks from the students that I'm teaching lah. So
Mm-hmm.
in school, generally, right, they really just give them based on a set of worksheet, and the worksheet can be made out of all different kinds of questions.
Mm-hmm.
So the teacher will teach them by, okay, first question we use this way to answer, second question use this way to answer, third question use this way to answer. So they get very they have a lot of information. So we'll say that it's a bit like information overload.
Mm-hmm.
They don't get to recognize that actually question 1 and question 6, right, are actually a similar type of question.
Mm-hmm.
They see different diagram, then they thought it's different. Yeah, so technically they do teach them. However, they didn't deliver in a way that tell them, okay, type number 1 and number 6, do they look similar? Are they similar kind of question? So the kids cannot tell.
Yeah, from
Yes.
my experience as well, when I'm going through the science worksheet and notes of my kids, the eldest is in P4 this year. I don't remember seeing like breaking down of question types or concepts types. Yeah, all are just information, and I think what the kid needs to do is probably they are just told to just memorize.
Yeah, so that is good for students who really have big memory space, I would say. They can really remember their content very well. Yeah, but it's not very ideal for students who maybe already don't have interest and find that there's too many things to remember, so they start to lose the interest. That's the worst part. They started off actually liking science. Actually, all P3 students, right, they like science. But then along the way, as you ask from primary 4 to primary 5 to primary 6, right, then you see dropout rate for liking science because they cannot answer the question to what the school wants.
True.
Yes. Okay, so let's see one last kind of question with standard answer, and yet students always score partial marks as well. Okay, so this is a typical hit question. I hope that this one will be applicable for your P4 child. It's a commonly tested question. So which pot, R or S, will the water boil first? Now, when we see a diagram, right, we will play a game called Spot the Difference. Let's spot the difference.
Now I know why Sophie said that you're a different.
Why?
Yeah,
What did I
because
do?
no, because even when I'm sitting here and you got me and engaged as a student wanting to learn science, and I mean I really like the way that you say, okay, now let's all play a game, and you're like in our teacher mode, trying to make it fun for us also. Okay, now let's spot the difference and let's play a game. Yay!
Yay, okay. That's great to hear.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, and I'm sure that all your students benefited a lot from your teaching.
Uh,
You can see that.
I love them as who they are.
Yeah,
Yeah.
wow, that's really, you have the heart of an educator.
Mm. I,
Mm,
I I like young kids. I like young kids.
great.
Yeah. Okay. So if we spot the difference, then we can see there is a metal plate on the
Mhm.
left. On the right is a metal plate with gaps. So which part of water will boil first? You can make a guess.
Wow, must be a trick question. Even for parents, I think sometimes we think too much, like when you ask a question now, okay, now parent, you try. We always think this must be a trick question because you ask me, that's why it's tricky.
No lah, must let you decide first ma.
Pots are,
You're correct.
yay, do I have a prize?
1 point. You need to collect some points to redeem your reward, okay? Yay, you're 1 point closer, 1 point closer. Okay.
Yay.
Okay, so but do you know the reason why?
Okay, I just taught my child this chapter. Something to do with like the metal versus the air and their different conductor of heat.
Mm, mm. Okay.
Okay, oh dear, now I'm scared.
Not applicable over here.
Ah!
Okay, so
Okay, what's the answer?
so I give you a trick to this, okay? Over here, right, I call this in ISun, we call this type 5 question, okay? Type 5 question, right, is known as contact surface area or
Oh,
exposed surface area kind of question.
okay.
So contact or exposed surface area kind of question. So you can see that port R has more contact surface area between the metal plate and the pot, right? So the water will gain heat faster and boil first. So if you realize what I just told you, I mentioned greater contact surface area. I also mentioned gain heat faster. So these are the keywords to look out for. But contact surface area still not the end. They must say contact surface area between something and something. Yeah. Then remember, why is it that will gain heat faster? The water will gain heat faster.
Or from where to where is it? Like,
yeah, correct. Water gain heat faster from the metal plate. Yeah. So these are the things to look out for, although it may seem very simple. Like, okay, you just need to use contact surface area and gain heat. But the problem is that they cannot put it together into a sentence. They find it hard. So we need to remind them, okay, so after you have these keywords, what do you do next? Contact surface area, you must say between something and something. Then why is it that gain heat? From where? Yeah. So this question not very well done in general. Across the whole cohort, starting from primary 4. But if they learn it well, they serve them well for the future, because it comes out again and again and again. Primary 4, primary 5, primary 6, again and again and again. Yes. So with all these step by steps, okay, I just give you all one last tip. Okay, one last tip is that usually part A, B, C, right, they are linked. And the clue is that part B is actually linked to part A. Then sometimes students see it separately, see them as separate case. Like, okay, I answer finish part A already, now I go to part B. Then they forget about the information they saw in part A. Yeah, but in this case, it's actually linked. Animal G spread itself out on the frozen ground during summer months. So if you think of summer months, it's actually quite hot.
Mm-hmm.
If you think of frozen ground, you will think that it's actually very cold.
Mm-hmm.
There's another keyword here, spread out. Spread out. So spread out for what? Spread out because there's greater contact surface area. So remember, after contact surface area is between the ground and animal. So after I select the first key phrase, which is this,
Mm-hmm.
I need to continue to select the second key phrase. So in this case, is the animal gaining heat or losing heat?
It's losing heat.
Correct. So you will have to say the animal lose heat. Animal lose heat faster to the frozen ground. And the animal will become cooler.
Is the last sentence, I mean, yes, we know that it wraps up the answer very nicely. What if a child stops at the frozen ground, full stop?
Okay. So what if they stop over here? Technically, they are still correct. But normally, I will always ask them to answer back to the question to check if they have completely explained to what the question wants. So they
There's quite a
first
lot to write for 1 mark.
a lot to write for 1 mark. You are correct.
Yeah, and what about instances that the child doesn't have enough lines to write? Like for those with big handwritings.
They will just write here lah.
Oh.
Draw a line neatly and write below, continue writing. Yeah, not limited by lines, basically.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes, we have about 22 parents watching.
Hello. Okay, so this is heat type 5 question. So in heat, there's actually 5 types of question.
Yes.
So
And
you can.
Mami, again, Ruth, again, she asked earlier, and I don't want to interrupt your flow. Yeah, so Ruth was asking what are the types of questions in session B and how to recognize those different types of questions. Okay, and I know that's a very big question, so just feel free to share based on what you have covered earlier.
Okay. So what are the types of question in section B? First thing first, we need to recognize the number of topics from primary 3 all the way to primary 6, right? It can be categorized into 26 topics. And different topics got different number of types of question. So I will just share example like water cycle, there's 8 types. Like heat, there's 5 types. The fastest way to spot different types of question, right, is to categorize the exam papers. So after picking out everything from heat, there's one whole chunk of it, right? Then you can further split them up. Then you realize, oh, okay, there's 5 types. Yeah. So that's like the background work that actually us as educator we do to strategize for them. But it's a process that if let's say the child do it right, actually they will become very, 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 very powerful learner because they are able to categorize information in the future. So that's the general flow to come up with the different types of questions. But it's very hard to tell you how many kinds of questions for each topic because then you'll be in the lesson already that we teach how many kind exactly. And then we will teach type 1 is what, type 2 is what, type 3 is what, type 4 is what, type 5 is what. Yeah.
Probably I can share a bit for Ruth because I know Mami Ruth, and just to help her out a bit. Yeah, so Ruth, I think sometimes as a parent who's not trained in science, like what Li Su is doing, when you ask me question type, I'll be thinking like, oh, like question like explain, stating, classification. Yeah, but I think what Li Su is sharing here is exam smart strategy for science. And what she's doing in ISun is that she really categorized the types of questions that the tester have set for the science paper. And because of her experience since 2012, right? You are saying, yeah. So she's able to see the patterns. Yeah. So for her kids who are in the program, so somehow she is able to make it even easier for a child. Say that okay, these are the types. Go and learn it. Yeah, and most likely you'll be tested on this. Yeah.
Yeah. So
So just tell her that the two different sets of the types, just in case she mix up.
yeah, thanks for putting it across.
Yeah, because I think that you are a really different kind of tutor in the sense of you can recognize patterns as well, and pattern recognition is a very powerful skill for educators who can really just group up. Okay, here's what you need to learn for exam. Go and learn it. There's no need to learn 100%. Yeah. Wow.
Yeah, because a lot of information in the guidebook, right, it's not even tested. If they,
Ruth is asking, so if this is taught in your center, would you want to address that?
oh, this technique is taught, if this is taught in my center,
Yeah.
the recognizing of different types of question, yes, this is taught in the center. So today, whatever I show you guys, like, okay, this type 5 question, this type 4 question, so on and so forth, right, is actually exactly how we train the students. So we'll start from the cheat sheet. Okay, let me just show the cheat sheet one more time. So
After you share the cheat sheets, I think you help me to take the question from Mami Christina. I have posted inside the Zoom chat.
okay.
Okay, parents, as Lisu is sharing this, just a disclaimer, we are not endorsing anything, and it's not a paid ad. Actually, the series of for this is actually expert interviews, and Lisu is highly recommended by a very good friend of mine. Yeah, so she told me that, hey, you must go and talk to this coach because she's a very different coach, and now I experience it already.
Thank you.
Yeah, so if you want to get in touch with her later, I will check in with Lisu how you can get in touch with her, and then you can take on from there.
Okay.
Okay.
Can. Okay, so just now Ruth is asking like the flow, the thought, the flow of the teaching the students, right?
Yeah.
So we will start off with teaching the cheat sheet over here. Okay, with letting them understand what are the different types of question. So we start from concept, teaching concept. Okay, type 1 question. So we will do together. Okay, all the way. So all the way to the last type of question. Then when we answer question next, like just now earlier on, I was teaching the actual exam question on how to answer, right? Then we will bring them back to, okay, do you recognize that this is which type of question? Yeah, so I circled this because this is actually the most important question that always come out for many years in PSL 2016, 2017, 2018, 2019.
Every year. Then will it come up for
Yeah.
2020?
2020, not sure. Okay, but I think a lot of prelim paper also have this question being tested also. And if you are P5, confirm will come up for exam. P5, okay, confirm will come up for exam. So
Parents, the keyword is confirm. Go and study.
yeah, confirm. So please study this. Yeah. So we'll teach this first. Then we apply to different type of question. So we do teach that lah. Yeah. Okay, so wait, let me see the question from Christina. Adaptations is not tested Yes, adaptation is not tested in exam. However, they can give questions that are linked. Yeah, they can give questions that are linked. Actually, just now the keywords that I use is actually exactly the same as hit keywords. It's not adaptation keywords. Yeah, so it might still be tested also.
Yeah, probably can just add on as a parent who teach, who is trying, who is the kid is trying to teach my elders science. And I know that when I talk to parents even for maths, right, some of them may say that this is not tested, that's not tested, so is it, there's no need to learn. Yeah, but as a parents, sometimes I think that it will be good or nice to learn so that the knowledge of your child actually expands. And you never know that this is the knowledge actually can be contributed to answering some of the questions from topics that are tested. I'm not sure if you agree with me on that. That it's okay to learn something new, or even if it's not tested.
Maybe Christina is just confirming whether this is part of the PSLE syllabus.
Oh, Christina, is it for P6?
So this year P6, right, adaptation really not tested. But the question that I showed earlier, right, is actually linked more to hit than to adaptation. So it might still be tested.
Well, this is the part that I think most parents like myself will be scared. So is it tested or not tested?
Is it tested or not tested? I would say it's a yes, because the keywords are not adaptation keywords.
Yeah. I guess it's better to be over prepared than under prepared.
Yeah.
Okay, I am expecting this question from parents, and thanks so much for asking, because I'm sure parents will ask you, are the cheat sheets sold in your center? Or it's only for the kids who are in your center?
Okay, actually we don't sell it. The reason is because today, even if you receive this, right, do you think you'll be able to use it?
Frankly, even as a tutor, I would say I wouldn't be able to teach like what you just did.
So if we're going to sell something, right, and then in the end you cannot use, right, then you will say that the tool is useless. That's the reason why we actually don't sell it, but rather we teach it and equip it to the students, because they need to learn how to apply, learn how to use it. Yeah, so that's the key.
I would say that from my experience of teaching science, I think it's more than just memorizing the science terms. It's a lot on strategic linking, as well as knowing what the questions are asking, and also putting words like what you mentioned, best, better, those comparison words.
Yeah, so those part needs training.
So maybe you can train the parents lah.
Actually, train the parents is also okay. Yeah.
Okay, let me take a quick look at okay, for Christina, actually it's the kid who's asking. Yeah, so the P6 kid is asking, just confirm that adaptation is not tested this year for PSLE.
Adaptation is not a tested topic. Yeah,
Okay.
but
Again, but
yeah,
keyword again,
but like I said, okay, just go back to this question. Okay, you look at the question. The question, right, got nothing to do with adaptation. Even though it's an animal, it doesn't mean it's an adaptation topic.
Now I got it. Okay.
So this question, right, is a heat question. They are linked. Contact surface area, see? Contact surface area. Gain heat, lose heat. So nothing to do with adaptation. Yeah.
Oh wow, I think I learned a lot from your sharing. Yeah, so the key thing is for P6s doesn't mean that you see an animal is adaptation. Because this polar bear can be changed to like maybe the mummy trying to sun the rug. So instead of putting it somewhere else, but she just lay the whole thing flat on the
ground
or whatever.
Yeah, it can change to another item, but maybe not an animal. can be a non-living thing also that's being placed on the frozen ground just for it to lose heat faster.
Yeah. So what I learned from here is, it doesn't mean that if you see an animal, it's adaptation.
Plus, diversity of animal is also tested. And diversity of animal is also linked to adaptation of animal. During the teaching part, is linked. So please prepare yourself, even in the very small topics this year, because they take away a lot of topics, right? Means all the small topics, right? They will test. It's more likely that they will test rather than the previous year where they don't really test the small topics.
Yeah, because they have more room to play with. So whatever that is less important in the previous years will be brought out to test the kids.
Yeah, might be brought out. So there might be more important. So just be prepared, be ready.
All right. Parents, okay, Ruth is asking, is there a possibility of mixed topic?
There is. So part A, part B can be from different topic. There are certain topics that are really linked. Like water cycle, heat, matter. These three topics are most likely to be tested together. Like reproduction of plant, reproduction of human, life cycle of plant. These three topics are most likely to be tested together also. So there are many more, like respiratory, circulatory, digestive system tested together. They are not meant to be studied separately. So they got, when the kids study, right, they got to link these topics together. Oh, link. So they have to draw links to different topics. ABC, part ABC can be tested all from different topics.
Great. And just now the P6 child was saying, I guess they will put more small topics because the big ones are gone.
All the best, okay? 加油, 加油.
All right. Okay, parents, is there any more question you want to ask? Because I really want to thank Li Su for her time. What happened just now was, in fact, she rushed straight from her lesson, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So I think her lesson ended about 7+. Then parents actually got hold onto her, and because she's very responsible, she committed the time to the parents and answer her question. Then later, then she changed. Then she just maybe rest for a short while, and then she got on to this webinar. So I really wanted to thank you for coming on board to share with my parents.
Thank you for having me, and hopefully everyone learned something today.
Yes, I learned something new. Yeah. Okay, Li Su, what will be one key takeaway for the parents? Because I know that you have shared so much, and in fact, many of them are very new to me. So what will be one key takeaway for the parents who wants to apply what you have just shared?
One key takeaway, I would say that do not just tell them to study.
Coming from a very experienced
Yeah.
coach.
Because if you just ask them to study, they are going to, those who study hard and very 乖, they will really study. But it's a very sad thing to see that they spend their time in the wrong way. So they must be able to study smart, study the correct things. Yeah, to use the minimum time to get the most right out of everything. Yeah. So if I were to give an advice to all the PSL kids on what to do now, how to prepare, what exactly out of so many things, so many worksheets, then what to do, right?
Yeah, so many.
Yeah, I also feel that. Yeah, they feel like a bit overwhelmed already, right? Okay, so what they need to do, right, is to first pick up their blind spots, like the recent prelim papers from the recent prelim exams, right? What they can do is to spot topics, right, that they cannot score. start the revision from these topics first.
And how do they know which are the topics that they can score?
How do they know?
Is it from mistakes made in the prelim as well as mid-year paper?
Yeah, usually they're exam papers. So also through various test papers, because I do see and analyze the mistake of students, right? The problem is that they will get wrong again and again and again and again and again when they don't have awareness that they are weak in that particular question or that particular topic. So for example, heat topic is their weakness, right? So they will tend to get wrong again and again and again and again. Then rather than doing this, right, why not just work on heat first? Work on a particular topic, make it strong first before you go and challenge another full paper. Yeah, so from prelim paper, very important. Look at your mistakes. Work on the topic, right, that you are weak in first.
Great. So parents, with less than 1 month away to PSLE, you want to use your remaining time strategically. So what Lisu has shared, you take on those topics that your child is weak in first. Get them up, then you work on a full paper. All right. Okay, Lisu, thanks so much for your time. And Mommy Ruth also shared many thanks for answering my questions.
Thank you.
Okay, Lisu, okay, I always have one last question for our guests, and it's a question that I ask all my guests. Yeah. So right now we know that you have been a tutor for many years and you're an expert in your science syllabus, and our primary sixers are probably very tense up now. Yeah. So let's say if I invite you to walk down the memory lane from your older self, and I know that you're still very young, yeah. Your youngest, back to your younger self.
Okay.
Yeah. So what will you tell your younger self, your 12-year-old, when you meet her, and you can actually talk to her? What will you tell her?
What will I tell her? Actually, I will tell her that you already done your best. So you have given your best, and whatever it is, I'm proud of you. Yeah.
Great. Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit distracted because my 3-year-old just barged in to the room and she's trying to climb out the bed, and she may just fall off at any moment.
Oh no.
Okay, now she's on the bed. Okay. Okay, thanks so much for being here. And okay, parents, I hope that you have benefited a lot from Lisu sharing. Yeah, so now I got to release her for her dinner. Yeah, because I don't think that she has eaten yet.
Yes.
Yes. Okay, girl, please
Okay.
sit down. Oh dear, sit down. Okay, sit down. Sorry. Okay, parents. So I'll see you around. And I'll start the Facebook Live first. Don't go off first. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Parents, take care and all the best to your science. Okay. Bye bye.